the tackle.
If we see this again,
A 33-yarder.
You see one of the dangers of going for that interception. See if we can catch who it is that comes across just as the ball goes by. Couldn't see it from there. But when he missed the interception and left Bennett wide open.
First and goal from the 3. Touchdown. Number 42, Mickey Walczak, gets his first rushing touchdown of the year. The senior fullback from Saratoga Springs, New York.
Do you think that Mountaineer bought enough ammo?
There's Mickey Walczak. One of the reasons that West Virginia is having such a successful year is they're so deep at the running back positions. They have 3 good fullbacks, 3 good tailbacks, 2 good quarterbacks, and not a bad offensive line, as you can look at that up front blocking. Dave Johnson, the backup center, and they're doing a good job on that particular play, as is Dave DeJarnette, who replaced Andre Gist, who was injured earlier.
Did you notice the catapulting off the bat?
44-17 with 5:17 to go. The Mountaineers bowl bound. Folks, remember, it was 13-10 when they started this second half. West Virginia has come out here and put 31 points on the board with 5:17 remaining in the game. Rutgers was able to scrimp up 1 touchdown.
Well, they scored 14 of those points with less than 4 minutes gone in the half.
There's Burke, number 34, as you get an end zone view from behind Burke. That's the kind of view he got of the West Virginia kick coverage team. Number 34, Burke, is tackled. He's going to spot the ball at about the 17-yard line of Rutgers. 5 minutes, 10 seconds to go, and I'm sure the Scarlet Knights would like to try to put some points on the board. Not making an excuse for them at all, as I'm sure the Rutgers would not even want that to happen, but it is important to point out the injury situation. Rutgers offensively has played this entire football game without a tight end. Both of their tight ends, Mercer Hedgeman and Alan Andrews, were injured. Hedgeman a broken wrist and a bad ankle sprain for Andrews. And they've played with 3 wide receivers, as you see on your screen right now. No tight end on the offensive line for Rutgers. That'll change your game plans around. Now Eric Huckberg is in at quarterback for Rutgers. Let's go down to Craig Sager on the sideline.
With me, Darryl Talley. You went out in the second quarter with an arm injury. What happened? You came back here in the second half storming it.
No, I just went out with a stinger. You know, in the first half I was playing, as the coach called it, as a 10-cent ball player, and that's not what I am. You know, so he got on me about that. I came back out determined to play a little bit better in the second half, and that's what I tried to do.
The score indicates it. Back to you, Bob.
So the injury to Darryl Talley was some hurt pride there. The coach called him over and called him a 10-cent ball player, but he's not. He's an All-American. He was an AP All-American last year and is probably going to be an All-American again this year. Here's Baker with the reception and out of bounds at the 27-yard line. I admired his bluntness.
Well, he was quite blunt, but, you know, that's one of the difficulties of being a good football player is you've got to perform all the time. People expect it.
Dennis Brown, the defensive coordinator, was talking to Al and I about Darryl Talley and a lot of these players this morning. And the more Dennis Brown talked about Talley, the more excited he got. This play, he says he runs a 4.55 40-yard dash. This is a linebacker, folks, for pro scouts who came in. He says he's a great one-on-one pass rusher. He can cover a split end on pass coverage.
He does it all.
Third down 1, Rutgers from the 27-yard line, and Huckberg hands off close to a first down. We'll have to measure to see what happens down there. It's time to tell you about the most valuable players in tonight's football game. First of all, from Rutgers, we've selected Jim Dumont, number 53, in the center of your screen. 7 individual tackles tonight. That's from Rutgers. Dumont is 6'1", 220, a junior from Levittown, Pennsylvania. He plays on the team with his twin brother, Bob Dumont, and the great story there is both of them were walk-ons, if you can believe that. Chevrolet will donate a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of Rutgers University, thanks to the great play tonight of Jim Dumont. Pass completion to Baker. Greg McGowan covering, and Baker's really stacking up some stats here tonight. He has 6 catches for 111 yards offensively for Rutgers.
Well, it's interesting. Rutgers has gone to the short passing game and are moving the ball fairly well. You always think, what if, what if? I don't know that it would have made much difference, but it might have helped them get some more points on the board.
3:57 to go in the game. West Virginia leads 44-17. First down 10. Rutgers from their own 40. Baker in motion again. Here's Hochberg rolling, throwing, looking. It's picked off. Arthur Ashe, number 31, cuts it across the field. If he can turn the corner, he can't turn the corner. He's tripped up at the 45-yard line. The center, Joe DiGilio, came down there to make the tackle, but Hochberg comes in, throws his 2nd interception of the year. He's a freshman from State College, Pennsylvania, who came in place of Jack LaPrairie. That's Arthur Ashe's 1st interception in his collegiate career, a sophomore from Washington.
Watch this interception. Now, he makes a big play here that does something that really is a mistake. The best thing you can do with an interception is bring the ball straight up the field.
West Virginia, 1st and 10. Tom Gray diving out across the 50. They're going to say he got to about the 49-yard line. And there goes our most valuable player tonight from West Virginia. And we decided that based on the early in the game special teams contributions of Willie Drewery, who is a kick and punt returner and a 2nd-team wide receiver. Drewery, look at that. 134 yards, 1 TD, and he set up another on a punt return.
Are they going to run another end around with him?
I think not. They're giving to the freshman, Tom Gray, number 32. Gray gets inside the 45 to the 42-yard line. Another 1st down for West Virginia, leading 44-17. And, you know, Alan, we did talk about this at halftime. We said it's a 13-10 game. West Virginia with just a 3-point lead here. But I think you pointed out the West Virginia depth, the injuries to Rutgers, and what can happen in the second half.
That's right. You know, it's indicated by their scores by quarters. They have had a tough time throughout the whole season in the second half. And I think today, this second half is indicative of what's been going on with them all year.
Tom Gray, the freshman, does a good job running there. Gets another 1st down. Gray had 90 yards versus Boston College earlier in the year, and 8 receptions versus Penn State. He's a big play freshman tailback for West Virginia. Looks pretty good here. Watch number 32.
I'll tell you, though, he keeps running into those crowds like that. Those ribs aren't going to heal anytime soon.
Good thing he has that flak jacket on. See a lot of players wearing that. More and more players wearing the flak jacket with injured ribs. Number 22, Tom Bowman, a sophomore in the game now for West Virginia. Gets a couple of yards as we have 2 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the game. Gives me a moment to thank the sports information director, Tom Lilly from West Virginia University, and from Rutgers, Bob Smith, and also the coaches, Don Nehlen and his fine staff at West Virginia, and Frank Burns at Rutgers. They just did a great job helping us prepare for the ball game as usual tonight. Here comes Gray, gets it to the 20-yard line. May have a 1st down, blocked down to a minute 43.
It's going to be close.
Speaking of West Virginia, we particularly want to thank Dennis Brown, the defensive coordinator, as you may recall, as a tremendous quarterback at the University of Michigan back in 1968. He became the defensive coordinator and is an enthusiastic young man. And Rush Jakes, who's the quarterback coach and for all practical purposes the offensive coordinator here for West Virginia's Don Nehlen. Nehlen, who has just done such a great job since he came here from Bowling Green.
I'm still a little surprised at that quarterback being a defensive coordinator. That one, I don't understand that one.
Alan Page has this. Well, he questions quarterbacks. It was instinctive. You had to develop that over the years.
That's the only way you could play defense.
Look at the West Virginia sidelines down there. Well, Dennis Brown talked like a defensive coordinator, did he not? Excited,
yes, he did.
Very enthusiastic, very knowledgeable about it, and obviously all you got to do to see the results of his work is to look down here. There's Gray being tackled in the backfield. Number 91, Tom Chergy, came in on number 32, Gray, to make the stop. And Don Nehlen, who was an outstanding coach at Bowling Green before he came here, has done a heck of a job. This is his 3rd year at West Virginia.
Maybe Brown was miscast as a quarterback. Maybe that was the problem.
Probably so. Of course, if you play for a Bo Schembechler team, in those days particularly, quarterbacks had a lot of contact. Here's Gray! to the 5-yard line. Tom Gray, tackled by Bill Houston. Gray has got 10 carries here, all in the second half, and now he has about 51 yards in carries. Just the freshman. Good job. Look at this, Alan.
Fair piece of running there. Finding the hole, getting through it, right there, coming out the other side, turning it on, making a move here, leaving one person behind him before he finally gets taken down.
Double tight ends in there for West Virginia. Only 11 seconds to go in the game. First and goal from the 5. Here's Kevin White looking, running, tackled. Penalty markers are down. Clock ticks down to 3 seconds, and there's a penalty marker in the end zone. If it's pass defense against Rutgers, it'll be first down goal from the 1 for West Virginia. They lead 44-17 with only 3 seconds remaining.
How can you have pass defense in the end zone when they run the football?
It wouldn't be, as a matter of fact, thanks to the rules changes, it would not be pass interference. Could be holding.
That's right.
A lawyer. It's great working with a lawyer.
You called it.
He doesn't miss anything. And he charges me a fee for legal advice during the game. Okay, let's see what they're going to call. There's a timeout on the field while they decide this. It's going to be marked off half the distance, so that's what it is. It's going to be holding. If it was pass interference, it would have been 1 yard line. Let's see.
Holding, defense, timeout, White.
Job well done by the referee tonight, William Parkinson. Only 3 seconds left to go in the football game. There's Kevin White. You see he has a broken nose, and you see that they're checking it over right now.
I've got a question for you, Bob. If you were in this situation, what would you do? Would you try to score a touchdown, or would you just want to get the game over?
I would, no question about it, I would not try to score a touchdown. I do what West Virginia did. There's no point in adding insult to injury. They're going to win the game. The game is over 44-17, and the extra 6 wouldn't have made a lot of difference to them. And the freshman quarterback, Tony Rita, gets his first play of the year by running out the clock. And that's the final. And there are the two coaches, Don Nehlen, Frank Burns, two outstanding gentlemen and fine molders of young men. It was great seeing the ball game here tonight. West Virginia over Rutgers, 44-17. We'll be back in just a moment. The Rutgers band playing the alma mater here as the Scarlet Knights went down to defeat tonight 44-17 at the hands of the powerful West Virginia Mountaineers. This game started with a 75-yard punt return early in the game by Willie Drewery, and it really set the tone for it, Ellen.
Well, that was the first score, and, you know, West Virginia didn't do much with it in the first half, but they came out in the second half ready to play and followed one big play after the other.
Must have been some halftime talk that Don Nehlen gave his players at halftime. We're going to go down to Craig Sager, who's down on the field right now with our most valuable player from West Virginia, Willie Drewery, and the head coach of West Virginia University, Don Nehlen.
What was that halftime talk you gave the players?
Actually, it wasn't very much. I told them the enemy was us, not Rutgers, and when we started to play football, we were all right.
44-17, you tried to score another touchdown. Was that for the Bull Scouts?
Well, no, I didn't try to score another one. Just kept the ball on the ground.
You had Kevin White back there. One time looked like he was going to pass, though.
No, that was a bootleg for him. We were going to try to run him in. I got to get to my team.
Okay, and here's our Chevrolet most valuable player, Willie Drewery. You put some scares into your coach, but you had that exciting electric run for that touchdown.
Yeah, I know. My coach was telling me, like, to secure the ball mostly because my hand was kind of slippery. I just trying to do my best to hang on to the ball. And, like, all during the season, my coach McConnell was telling me to stick it right up in there. Just go right in the middle. I just finally did it today, and it showed what I can do on the punt return.
What bowl do you want to go to?
It really don't matter which bowl. I just want to just go to a nice bowl.
Willie Drewery, our Chevrolet most valuable player. Back to you, Bob.
And so the final score from Giant Stadium is West Virginia 44, Rutgers 17. This is Bob Neal for Alan Page and Craig Sager, as well as the entire TBS sports crew, as we head to sunny Florida for Saturday night's matchup between the Cardinals of Louisville and the 8th-ranked Seminoles of Florida State. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Chevrolet and your local Chevy dealers from coast to coast. By new Schlitz Light. Schlitz Light stays light all night long. By Mobile Detergent Gasoline. It treats dirt like dirt. By the U.S. Army, a place to be all you can be. And by Cable News Network and CNN Headline News. Now you have a choice in 24-hour television news.